Have you set a timeline for your goals yet? If you just said, not really, don't worry. You're not alone. Setting goals is one thing, but attaching a timeline, that's what takes your dreams from someday I'll get this done to it's done. Today, we're talking about, though, why having a timeline for your goals is an absolute game changer and how you can create one that works for you. By the end of this, you'll be ready to set a plan in motion that actually sticks. Does that sound good? All right, let's get into it. So, why is it important for you to have a timeline? First of all, a timeline, it shifts your goals from being this vague idea about something to something real, something actionable. A timeline, it gives you the ability to just stay motivated, to better plan, to track your progress, to hold yourself accountable, and my personal favorite, to kick procrastination to the curb. Because without a timeline, it's just way too easy to put things off and wait for the right time. Because if it's the right goal, then the right time is probably now. But let's consider, how does it impact your focus and your motivation? Well, having a timeline, it gives your goal a sense of urgency. Instead of thinking, I'll get around to that whenever, you're working towards a real deadline. So say you want to save $5,000. Well, a timeline of 6 months turns that dream into action. An action like committing to save $833 each of those months. That clarity of the timeline, it lets you go from dreaming to doing. Timelines, they also help you plan and prioritize because big goals, they can feel overwhelming, right? But when you break them down into smaller steps, they don't just feel manageable, they actually are manageable. So say, for example, you're launching a new side hustle. Your timeline could look like this: land a first client by week 2, set up a website by week 4, and build a steady base of clients by week 12. Suddenly you've got a plan and you know what to focus on each step of the way. Another perk of timelines is that they make your progress measurable. Now you can easily see how far you've come, what's next, what adjustments you need to make along the way. Say you're training for a half marathon 10 weeks from now. Well, your timeline, it might include running 6 miles by week 3 or 10 miles by week 7. When you hit those milestones, you know, hey, I'm crushing it. Or I need to tweak my pace. Either way, you know where you are in relation to your goal. You know if you need to adjust your focus or your actions or if you're on course. And that kind of leads us to another advantage of a timeline that can be a game changer. It's accountability. Because a timeline, it's not just a calendar reminder. It's kind of like a personal coach saying, hey, don't forget what you've committed to, what you're working towards. And you don't have to do this alone. When you share your timeline with a friend or a mentor, it's a great accountability boost. But if you're feeling stuck, you can even book a ReFocus Power Hour for some expert guidance and that extra nudge to keep you moving forward. Finally, let's talk about how timeline, it helps you beat procrastination. Because a deadline, it creates some urgency that most of us need to actually get the things done. Trust me, with a goal, without a timeline, it often is just a wish, and you don't want to leave your success up to chance, right? So how do you set up a timeline that works? All right, let's take 5 simple steps to get started. First, define that goal. Use the SMART framework, be specific. What's that target? Step 2, set a deadline. Pick a realistic finish line. When do you want to accomplish this goal? Step 3, break that goal down. Split it into smaller milestones and map out when each should happen according to this timeline. Then step 4, schedule your action steps. Write them in your calendars. If it's not scheduled, it's going to slip through the cracks. Step 5, track your progress. Check in regularly, adjust if you need to, and celebrate the wins as you hit each milestone. You can check below for the goal focus worksheet to make this process a bit easier. And if you're not sure where to start or you just feel stuck, book a ReFocus Power Hour. It's a great way to get personalized support. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one goal, any goal. Set a timeline for it today. Trust me, this one step could be the difference between dreaming about your goals and actually achieving them. You've got this. Now go make that timeline and crush those goals.